What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Shout out to any new subscribers and all of my everyone that supports my channel. I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. It's been a while since I gave like a little shout out to new subscribers or just people who show appreciation for the channel. I do appreciate all of that support for sure. So, pretty surprising news coming out today regarding Batgirl. So the Batgirl movie is canceled. The Wrap is reporting Batgirl won't fly. Warner Brothers Discovery has no plans to release nearly finished $90 million film. So this is pretty surprising in my opinion. It's not a very long article. Let's go through it real quick and see what they are reporting about this topic. Warner Brothers Discovery will not release Batgirl either theatrically or on HBO Max. The Wrap has learned the $90 million project is effectively dead. Made under a previous regime, Batgirl was initially designed to be an HBO Max release, and then it was being considered for theatrical distribution. Due to COVID issues and shutdowns, the budget ballooned to $90 million. So I don't know if you might have remembered that first when it was announced as an HBO Max movie, exclusively just on HBO Max. Then sometime later it got changed. They came out and said it's going to be released in theaters. The same thing happened with Blue Beetle. Not saying it's being canceled, but the same thing happened with it being changed from an HBO Max project to theatrical. So we know that Leslie Grace was cast as Barbara Gordon. This image may look familiar when they kind of first showed a look at the suit, and there were also some set pictures that had come out as well. The leaders of the studio determined ultimately, in spite of reshoots and increased budget, that the movie simply did not work, according to insiders. The new owners and management, led by CEO David Zaslav, are committed to making DC titles big theatrical event films, and Batgirl isn't that. Insiders added that studio brass loves the film's directors and star and are actively planning to work with them soon. Warner Brothers Discovery is working to elevate DC films to be seen on the big screen. Batgirl had not been scripted or produced as a theatrical film. So that kind of makes sense, because if they had been originally planning for it to be an HBO Max release, then I guess you wouldn't expect that a movie that's released on their streaming service would have the same production quality or scale as a movie that's released in theaters. I mean, obviously, with other streamings, that's arguable with other streaming services, like Netflix now does movies that are basically theatrical production quality and scale. And it's obvious that they're doing that because they are now starting to do short-term releases with some of their bigger movies in theaters also. But with Batgirl, maybe that wasn't really what they started doing. I mean, that's not how they weren't making it with the intention of originally releasing it in theaters, but then it changed. And as it said, the budget increased because of protocols and things that they had to put in place to be able to film during COVID. So Bad Boys for Life filmmaking duo Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah directed Batgirl. The film also starred Michael Keaton as Caped Crusader Bruce Wayne / Batman. Last month, El Arbi and Fallah got great notices for directing the two first episodes of Marvel Studios' Ms. Marvel. Additionally, according to The Hollywood Reporter, Warner's has also decided to shelve animated feature Scoob Holiday Haunt, which had a budget in the $40 million range. Wow, that's pretty... that's a lot for an animated movie. So, not that this is really related to Batgirl, but I'm sure it seems like they're mentioning this because they're making a point that this new leadership is halting stuff that is not just being talked about. Like Wonder Twins was not, I don't think they were filming anything, but had been announced and they were probably, working on it in some capacity. They canceled that. But this has been filming for a decent amount of time. We've seen set pictures. I mean, this was, I think, pretty far along from what I imagine. Filming initially took place in Glasgow, Scotland from November 2021 to March 2022. See, they had been filming for a little bit of time. Oh, and it was in post-production. Okay. See, I didn't realize that it was already in post-production, but it makes sense because, we're already in, the later half of the year. So if they finish filming in March, then yeah. A spokesperson for the studio had no comment. A representative for Grace had no immediate comment. The New York Post first reported the news. Okay. So this is pretty significant in my opinion. I mean, the fact that it was already in post-production and probably pretty far along into post-production if they finished filming in March. It's interesting to see how quickly this new regime in leadership is making changes to not just stuff, like I said, that had been announced or stuff that's probably going on behind the scenes that we might not really know about, but stuff that has been public knowledge for a long time, stuff that's been filming in post-production. I mean, that's pretty significant. And I also wonder what this will mean for Michael Keaton, because it didn't, like, to me, it didn't really make sense that he would be in Batgirl. To me, that just never really made sense. It's fine, I guess, if they wanted to do this multiverse concept, bringing him into the Flash and, you know, him being the Batman of that timeline or that universe, whatever that Barry ends up in. It doesn't make sense for Michael Keaton to be the Batman in Batgirl, especially if J.K. Simmons was Jim Gordon, because he was already Jim Gordon in what we now call the Snyderverse. So, what, like, I don't know. It wouldn't, I guess, depending on what they were planning to do with Ben Affleck's Batman at the end of the Flash movie, if it's true that they were kind of going to somewhat, like, not erase him, but remove him from the current, you know, from this new timeline that Flash creates, and then now Michael Keaton is the Batman, and I guess that's maybe where they were going with it. And it's also interesting because of the recent confirmation from Jason Momoa that Ben Affleck is going to be in Aquaman 2. So all of this together is very interesting. I mean, it makes you wonder, are there going to be changes made to the Flash? What other things are going to be happening? What other changes are going to be made? It's very, very interesting. It's telling. This new regime is, I mean, they're just diving into to the DC IP. They're making changes quickly. I mean, they're bringing in new people. People are going out and people are coming in. Like, they're making changes quickly. And I guess the first big thing that happened was that they pushed all these movies back, and it gave them time. Now I'm pretty sure that if these movies hadn't been shuffled around and pushed back, pretty sure we would not be getting Ben Affleck in Aquaman 2. So it is very telling. I want to see what else happens. Like, this just shows they are making changes. They are making decisions. They are taking the initiative to make these changes, and hopefully it's for the better. I'm sure Leslie Grace and all of those involved with the movie are disappointed. That's understandable. The directors, I'm sure all of them are disappointed. But like the article says, hopefully they will work with them in some way to kind of make up for this happening. I'm sure it caught them off guard. It was probably pretty surprising that already being in post-production that they canceled it. So I want to see what else happens. This is coming out right after we find out about Ben Affleck being in Aquaman 2. And so I think the Flash, I'd be surprised if they don't make changes to the Flash. I'm not saying they're going to cancel it, because I think that'd be a pretty big move. But we'll see if anything happens with the Flash, either behind the scenes or, if it comes out to the public. But very interesting, and we'll see what happens moving forward. But thank you guys for watching. Check out the links in the description, any videos you might have missed recently. And thank you guys again for the support. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and or subscribe. Turn notifications on so you'll be alerted when I post a new video. And we'll see you guys soon.